Okay, and then here is a look at our red dot right here. So yeah, pretty good, I would say. Very happy with it so far. Welcome back, folks. So today we're going to take a good look here at the OSIGHT SE. This is a micro red dot. Now in the box here, they give you a good little guide here to how to zero it. And they also give you a tool for that as well. And also too, how to install it. So sometimes there are some differences. And the good thing with this is inside the box here and I was kind of even surprised to see this, they give you a complete set of all different types of screws here. So pretty much you should have everything covered with these screws. And they also even give you extras as well, which is really cool. So, and they also give you a nice little wrench as well. And they even give you a spare battery compartment screw in case that would go missing for some reason or whatever. So pretty cool in terms of they give you pretty much everything that you need. A little safety document here, a little thing to clean the lens. You always want to make sure that you use some sort of proper lens wipe to clean the lens or blow it off with compressed air. There's also instructions here as well. I always find with OSIGHT, No Light, they're very good about instructions, so that's awesome. Now, controls on this, very simple. There's a plus and minus here on the left side for if we want to go ahead and adjust the brightness. You can also put this into a manual mode by pressing any button, getting it turned on, and then you press the plus and minus buttons for just over a half a second, and it'll change it into back and forth between manual on and off. Myself personally, I just plan on leaving it in the mode that it came out of the box, which is anytime that you touch it or it moves, it'll go ahead and turn on. You can adjust the brightness here, plus and minus with that. You can also switch between the reticles as well, which we'll look at in just a second here. So the cool thing with this is we have three different, we basically have a reticle with a dot only, and there's the reticle only. So we have that option there for that. Up here in the center, we have an elevation adjustment that we can adjust with our little screw, and we can adjust windage here as well. And we have our battery compartment and a little piece of paper that you'll need to remove before using it. That just comes standard to kind of protect the battery. All right, so this uses the standard kind of RMSc footprint here. And so I went ahead and bought a mount for it for what I'm going to mount it on. It fits nice and neat here. We'll have to figure out which screw to use. I can't remember off the top of my head which one it is. It also mentions using just a touch of blue thread locker. Okay, folks, so this is what our reticle here is going to look like. And so this is the factory default setting. And we have a 32 MOA circle and then a 2 MOA dot. So, okay, and then here is a look at our red dot right here. So if you hold down the minus button for 3 seconds, this is what to expect with that. So you'll just have a dot only. And so, you know, it kind of depends on what you want or don't want. And that is the good thing about this site, is that you can change it to kind of suit what works for you, whether you want the reticle and the dot or just the dot only, or we'll look at here the reticle next. But anyways, this is what to expect with the dot only. And then if we just want to go reticle only, this is what your reticle here is going to look like. And so this does away with the dot on the third setting, and you just get the 32 MOA circle. So, okay, so we're mounted on the mount here. The screws here, the good thing with the screws they give you is not only do they give you the different sizes, but they give you different lengths as well. So that's very convenient. And also there is a little bit of blue thread locker on these screws as well. So I just went ahead and went with that. In the future, or if you want, you can always just add a little bit of little dab of blue thread locker if you so desire. But we'll go with this for now. Also, there is torque settings for the different size screws. So you can refer to the card for that, depending on which screw that you use. I do have a Wheeler torque wrench for situations like this, but of course it's gone missing. So wherever it is, I will find it at some point. But in the meantime, I just went ahead and made sure that the screws were tight. You know, I didn't try to overdo it, but made sure they were nice and tight, and hopefully we should be good. This is kind of what to expect with our reticle here in the real world. And so one of the things I like with this, with the reticle on a micro red dot or even a red dot, is kind of draws your eye in to where you need to be. And that is kind of one of the things with some of those dots, is sometimes they're a little bit harder to pick up. And also too, the camera here, it's kind of a funky representation. Whenever you actually look through it with your natural eyes, the reticle appears much bigger, but I'm kind of focusing through the red dot sight here. So my camera work is probably not, the greatest in the world. Maybe I'll figure out some solution someday for that. Someone who knows photography a bit better than I do, but yeah, pretty much this is about what kind of to expect. And for me, I find it nice and sharp. And like I said, when you look through the red dot sight with your human eye, everything, it'll kind of pull in everything a lot closer. Like this looks farther away than it actually is. But so yeah, pretty good, I would say. Very happy with it so far. So we're out here getting it getting it all set up and sighted in and everything. So in the end, folks, with that kind of that mount, it's a bit higher, so I expected to have to do a bit more kind of zeroing in. Started out down at the bottom, and we needed to come left, so we did. We got that dialed in terms of pretty much dead center. And then we had to just adjust the elevation. So we actually went up too far initially, and then we had to come back down, and finally we got it kind of right where I wanted it to be. So in the end, folks, time for me to get out of the cold and go get dinner. But we put this through the paces this afternoon and got it all sighted in. That probably took about 10 minutes or so, maybe 15 minutes max. And then we tested it out a fair bit and ran like a train on time. So I think the big thing that I see with this that's good is it gives you a lot of options. So if you like the reticle with the dot, then you've got that. If you like the dot only, you can just go with the dot, or you can just go with the reticle. So there's a lot of options there. So I think especially for the money, it's good value for the money. And we'll continue testing it, and we'll do more videos with it in the future. But as it stands right now, with everything I put it through, it's, gets the job done. So anyways, folks, definitely check it out, and y'all have a good one.